So I'm finally posting my video for Don't Be a Fruit. The filming's kind of bad because Andrew's easily distracted, but I used a navel orange, like one of the big, thicker ones, instead of a mandarin because they're a bit stronger and bigger. And Dallas quite easily crushed it without even putting anywhere near his full weight on it, and punctured it as well and just completely flattened it, and it was disgusting after. So basically, I'm just talking about um, all the crazy antics girls, particularly on Instagram, are doing to prove that they have a bond with their horse. And I just think it's really unnecessary and dangerous, and it's also encouraging other people who are naive to go and do the same thing in order to make people believe that they have a bond with their horse. And you can't really prove a bond by a photo. Like, you could have a broke lesson horse who odds are wouldn't spook and go and do the same thing without having any relationship with them whatsoever, and you could do that, and if they'd stand, then it's still unsafe, but you can just write it off as having a bond with them. It doesn't really prove anything just because your horse stands still for a few seconds and you got lucky that one time. Um, I don't really think you can capture a bond in a photo very easily because there's just so many things that go along with it and so many things your horse will do when they like you that you can't capture it in a single shot. And you shouldn't need to prove that you have a bond to anyone online. If you do, you should be secure enough with the fact that your horse likes you and not need to go around proving it by doing stupid stuff. And like, it's just so dangerous that if the smallest thing goes wrong, even if your horse doesn't spook that much, even if they shift weight, try to stamp at a fly, or just do anything that could potentially change the way they're standing when you're taking that photo, it could seriously harm you. I saw a girl who was defending it by saying that her horse trusts her and loves her and knows that she'll protect it so it won't spook. And we just need to remember that horses don't think like us. They don't have that thought process at all. And they will not think like that in a time of fear. They just act. They are flight animals. And when they're scared and they just act instead of stopping to think about it most times. And even if your horse spooks and then stops and knows you're there and calms down, most of the time they've already acted in some shape or form. And if you're underneath of them, even if they just take one step, it's enough to seriously harm you. So people really need to consider that. There's lots of other things you can do that are cool tricks with your horse. And you don't need to put their foot on you to prove anything. Um, and especially if you're going to do that, you shouldn't be posting it online and telling people that this is what trust is, because it's encouraging young kids and just naive girls in general that this is how you show what trust is, and this is what you do if you trust your horse and they trust you. And it's encouraging more people to do it, which isn't good. And when people try to defend it, and people say to these people that what they're doing is dangerous, and in response a lot of them are like, well, you don't have a bond with your horse. And when people go through and read those comments, they're going to think, oh, I have to be able to do this in order to have a bond with my horse. And it's just not a good situation, and there shouldn't be any encouragement to try these things because they are really unsafe. And like, there's so many other things in the horse world that are unsafe as it is, and putting yourself in that type of situation is just increasing the risk of getting hurt by so much more than it needs to be. So I'm just gonna put my video in here and you can watch it. As I said, the filming is pretty bad, but I think it does kind of make a point. And yeah, just try to be safer and think of some cool tricks that are a lot safer than that, because that's just, it's so dangerous. And think of what your parents would think if that's how you died. They probably have no idea that this is what you're doing, and then rushing you to the hospital for a punctured organ or crushed ribs or a scalped head isn't what they're going to want to be doing after dropping off at the barn. So be safe and think of cool ways to take photos with your horse and cool tricks to teach that won't immediately risk your internal organs, because you need those. Thanks for watching.
Wait, I said, wait. Wait, I gotta go further back. Do you want, like, all of Dallas in it, I assume?